Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So we talk about it plenty, but currently it is certainly a buyer's market. Supply has far exceeded demand. In today's video, I'm going to highlight a number of things to be on the lookout for if you decide to go buy a vehicle here in 2025. If a dealership does any of these following things, be sure to get the heck out of there. So stick with me. I'm going to hit you with a whole lot of information in this video, but I'm going to do it in rapid fire fashion. For starters, most importantly, right now, you're going to see a lot of dealerships trying to deploy the whole come buy your pre-tariff vehicle. Come get your vehicle before those tariffs hit. Obviously, President Trump, he put them on pause, but they're likely to come back later down the road, right? So it's going to be kind of a back and forth discussion item. And dealers, well, we saw them very quickly already start deploying that tactic. So be on the lookout for that. Hurry up and come buy your vehicle before those tariffs hit. Don't fall victim to that. On that note, so many dealerships were trying to actually hike up the prices of their existing inventory already at their dealership lot, claiming that tariffs were impacting the values of them. Those vehicles are already there. They're already at the lot. They weren't subject to the added tariffs that were being discussed. So, again, just another example of dealership greed. This next example is quite pathetic. We see it on very rare occasion, but it still exists. Dealerships still try to do it. They try to get you to fill out a credit application before you even test drive the vehicle. It's been done. A lot of sleazy dealerships out there will still try to deploy that tactic, and that is quite pathetic. So do not fall victim to that. Do not fill out a credit app before you even test drive a vehicle. You do that when you're ready to buy the vehicle, right? Or you come prepared with your own financing already pre-approved from like a credit union or whatnot. You come to the dealership prepared with that. You don't need to fill out that credit app before you drive the vehicle. That's insane. The thing that frustrates me so much with dealerships right now is they take advantage of your excitement. If they sense at all that you're very excited to buy that vehicle that they have, man, they will look for any opportunity to hike up that price tag. Even when you call them and you say, hey, I found this vehicle, it's on your website for this much, I'm interested in coming to give it a look, they'll be quick to tell you that, well, maybe that was a typo, or that's not the accurate pricing for it. So don't fall victim to that. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. And honestly, that is the problem. A lot of people were too afraid to leave these negative reviews for dealerships, especially during the pandemic where dealers were truly taking advantage of the customer. You and I, they were charging markups over MSRP, and people, they just didn't take that 5-10 minutes to fill out that complaint, fill out that review, that negative review based on their experience. You're not just bashing the dealership, you're conveying your actual experience. That's the whole entire purpose of reviews, and I think we often forget that. Reviews aren't just intended to be a 4- and 5-star review. If you have an adverse experience, a bad experience, let them know that too. Don't be afraid to do that. And if more people had done that throughout the last few years, I think we maybe would have seen a little bit of a change in the behaviors coming from dealerships. This next one you'll bump into more often than not, actually. When you call a dealership and you inquire about a vehicle, what is the first thing out of their mouth? They want you to get into the dealership. They want to say, hey, when can you swing by? When can we get you into the dealership to check out that vehicle? They want to get your butt in their seat so they can begin the whole saga of the back and forth. Let me talk to my manager. The whole getting your hands on the vehicle, getting you very excited about it, because that is when they know that they have you. So they're going to try to get you into the dealership. I don't recommend you do that. Obviously, you want to go check out the vehicle. You want to get a good idea that it is what you truly want to buy. But I will always, in my personal experience, I will always negotiate the deal before I even arrive. I want to know that that dealership is willing to play ball. And if a dealership is unwilling to provide those numbers, send you the write-up, send you a ballpark trade-in value for your trade-in if you have one based on the VIN number, the mileage, and the condition with several photos accompanying it, I would not deal with that dealership. Go up the road or call down the road to a different dealership. They will work with you, I assure you. Especially when it comes to your trade-in, you're gonna bump into the dealers that just will say no. Hey, we need to see the vehicle, which I understand, but they should absolutely give you a very close ballpark estimate trade-in value based on the information you provide. Obviously, if you lie to them and you convey the vehicle to be in much better condition than what it truly is, well, you deserve to have a lesser offer when you arrive to the dealership. But be honest with them. Tell them the true condition of the vehicle. If it has a crack in the windshield, a couple door dings, tell that to them. Show them pictures. Text them or email them the pictures. That way, you have no surprise when you get there, nor does the dealership. I would walk away from a dealership if they refuse to send me the write-up, the out-the-door write-up that includes all their additional fees, the documentation fee, taxes. If they refuse to send me that write-up or that purchase agreement write-up via email or text it to me in advance, I refuse to go to that dealership. Because if they're not willing to send that to you via email or text, what does that mean? That generally means that they're not above doing the whole bait and switch tactic on you, where they tell you one price on the phone, then you get there, then magically that price tag shoots up, all because you didn't get it in writing. So get it in writing before you even hop in your car and drive to that dealership. And we hinted at it already, but if a dealership has a history of charging markups over MSRP, I encourage you to walk away from that dealership. Even if they're not currently doing it, but they have a history of doing it, what does that tell you? I mean, what does that tell you about that dealership's ethics, their morals, their values? It's not that good. It's just greed. Be sure to walk away from a dealership if they're trying to force protection packages on you or force you to buy their extended warranties of some sort. You will bump into this, and oftentimes when you kind of work that deal and finalize the numbers on the sale price of the vehicle, then you go sit down with the finance rep. When you sit down with them, half of their job is to try to convince you to buy one of those protection packages or the extended warranties on that vehicle, or whether it's, you know, the windshield protection plan, the door ding protection plan, the additional ceramic coat, blah, 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 you name it. If they're starting to push those bogus fees on you, walk away. Look at the doc fee too. If you look at the documentation fee and it's anything over $299, that in and of itself is pretty high. But if it's over that, I've heard up to $900 before. Some of you have actually commented over $1,200 on the channel here. So if they're charging huge doc fees, walk away from the dealership. That's just a huge cash grab. On that note, let me know of the largest documentation fee that you have ever seen a dealership deploy, and or conversely, the largest protection plan package that they forced on you. Let me know, I'd be curious. And never work with a dealership that is really trying to push you into just trying to negotiate the monthly payment. You don't want to negotiate the monthly payment on a vehicle. Obviously, it's a point of consideration for you as you walk out of that dealership, but what you're there to do is to negotiate the sale price of the vehicle, the out the door price, with all the fees included, the sales tax. You want to negotiate that figure. And well, that monthly payment will work itself out if you successfully negotiate a good deal on the vehicle. So never fall victim to the whole, what do you want your monthly payment to be? Because that still allows that sales rep or that dealership to sneak in their protection packages, their extended warranties, all these other bogus fees, really to inflate that price tag while extending that loan term far enough out to where they can lessen that monthly payment. So don't fall victim to that. Another thing to be on the lookout for is sometimes you'll bump into a dealership who will only give you a certain deal on a vehicle if you finance through that dealership. If you finance through them, only then will they give you that exceptional deal that you're trying to get on that vehicle. Don't fall victim to that. And if you are going to end up financing through the dealership, come prepared, come equipped with your own financing pre-approved, whether it's through your local federal credit union or whatever it is. Come prepared with a really good rate already in mind, so now that dealership has a rate to beat. And if they're far off from it, tell them no thanks, I'm gonna stick with my own credit union pre-approval. And speaking of interest rate, perhaps the sleaziest tactic that a dealership can deploy is withholding your actual pre-approved interest rate for the sake of tricking you into buying an extended warranty of some sort or a protection package of some sort. This actually happened to me once before. The dealership said, hey, you know, I'm willing to do the 3.9% interest rate for you for this vehicle. It's on a Toyota Tacoma that I bought, a TRD Pro. I'm willing to do this for you if you're willing to buy this extended warranty. And if you buy that extended warranty, we'll bring it down to 3.9. Otherwise, we need to be at 6%. That's illegal for a dealership to do. So have that hip pocket. Don't let them pull the wool over your eyes. You were already approved for that 3.9% in my case, right? I was already approved by that. The bank already said yes to that, but they were withholding it and using it as leverage to get me to buy one of their extended warranties. I didn't fall victim to it, and guess what? I still got 3.9. Between the staggering inventory levels, banks clamping down and denying auto loans, and so many Americans defaulting on their auto loans and getting their vehicles repossessed, dealers do not have the luxury to remain firm on their pricing. They can't. And if they do, well, they might just go belly up. Just remember that one of the strongest weapons in your arsenal is patience. If you're willing to walk away from a deal, I assure you, if you walk away from a deal, that deal is only going to get better in time, especially right now. We talked about it plenty on the channel, but supply has far exceeded demand. That vehicle, even though the dealership will try to tell you and convince you otherwise that, hey, if you don't act now, don't get it today, you know, you're going to lose out on this. You know, you have to take advantage of it today or else you're going to lose the deal. That's a huge lie, especially right now. Inventory is through the roof. And if you can't get a truck or that car, SUV, or whatever it is at that dealership, I assure you, if you drive up the road 15 minutes, you'll have a good chance of buying the same exact vehicle from a different dealership. And well, the dealers know that too, but they're trying to pressure you into buying that vehicle. So patience perhaps is the strongest weapon that you have. Walk away. Don't be afraid to walk away. And I guarantee it, that next day, that maybe even that later that day, they're going to be calling you up, offering you an even better deal if it means getting you back into the dealership to buy that vehicle. And as a parting shot, if you stuck it out this long in this video, I'm going to give you the best advice possible in order to ensure you get the best deal on the vehicle you're trying to buy here in 2025. I encourage you to shop out of state. Shop far away first. Call dealerships that have the same exact vehicle that you're interested in. Call them, maybe 2 or 3 states away from where you live. Call them up and try to get the best possible deal, best possible figure in writing sent to you via email or text, right? You then take that offer and go to the next dealership, still far away from you, but each time you call a dealership, you're getting closer and closer to your backyard, your own neck of the woods. And by the time that you've called maybe 5, 6, 7 dealerships, each time asking them to beat the previous offer, in my experience, the dealerships will try to beat the offer that you have in writing by $500 to $1,000. So pretend you do that 5 to 7 times, and let's pretend half of them decide to play ball with you. You're still going to bring that price tag down $3,000 to $4,000 over those 7 phone calls that you make. And by the time you get to your backyard, you're willing to maximize and get the best possible deal on the vehicle you want. So start far away, call dealerships, get it in writing, call another dealership a little bit closer, ask them to beat the offer, and they will generally, and then get closer and closer until you're in your backyard. All right, guys, we'll wrap up the video there. Just know that you are absolutely in the driver's seat. It is a buyer's market. Do not let dealers try to trick you into believing otherwise. Supply has far exceeded demand, and that will continue to be the case well through the end of the year and into 2026 here. So you're in the driver's seat. Don't let them bully you around. So hopefully some of you can appreciate this type of content. As always, I do sincerely appreciate you taking the time to tune in. If you found any value in this whatsoever, I do respectfully request that you please consider subscribing. Your support means a lot, and it certainly doesn't go unnoticed. Until next time.